Well, here we are. We're Saturday evening at 18:30. That's May 28th, and we're going to just do a little bit of a plant check. This is the same neighbor's vineyards on Seacreast Rd. We're well on the way to budding now. Having thought over what I reported on this batch last time, I've only grown grapes a couple of years in Manitoba in a cold frame. Pruning them really slows down the budding sequence when you prune off everything, which clearly these were because they were third-year grafts, right? So let's just have a look. Oh, see here, just don't believe me. Can you see the graft spot? Oh, not really, eh? Yeah, there's the graft. They were grafted onto 2-year-old stock with end of first year what would you call it? The stock I'm calling the host root. Well, the new plant. Coincidentally, people used to graft Sativa indica, and you could probably do it with ruderalis or straight sativas. In particular, actually, it was I'm trying to remember because I didn't see this, but my neighbor in Malaqua, the American, the old CIA Dan Pruitt, CIA flunky contractor, he apparently some of his schoolmates that went on to university and ingrained into the government and created all this some of the first publicly released GMOs, which is yes I'm going to say it, which was actually an attempt to engineering a bunch of unwanted side effects. Actually, it was gene cleaving, is what it was, into some of that, well, I'll use the common term, skunk buds, that now are the hybrids that proliferate and contaminate and pollute the seed stock. I'm not saying they don't have their value. I'm just talking strictly about genetic integrities and sustainability and so yes, onto hop vines, onto hop rootstock. Hops like the vines they use in in making beer. Oh, here, let's just have a good little look here. Guys! Once I'll show you the whole vineyard. I can just get some light happening. Very consistent. And well, needless to say, you all know what I think about monoculture. Totally unsustainable. Bad for the plants, bad for the farmer. But hey, everybody's doing it, so don't think about what you're doing. Don't make informed decisions. Just, if they're getting pieced off by their masters, well, surely the masters will be pleased when you refuse to use your mind and educate yourself and make wise, sustainable business decisions and just, do what your masters want, because they're the ones that make it so if you don't get loans, you're not going to survive, and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Didn't any of you guys ever listen to what your fucking grandparents told you about the dirty 30s? Or in particular, the roaring 20s? Were you not fucking paying attention? Well, were you just thinking about how you'd like to kill those old bastards for beating the crap out of your parents, so that's all your parents would know and would beat the crap out of you? And I don't know. I don't really fucking comprehend much of your inner workings, you human beings, you Homo sapiens. And I'm not judging yous. I know you're all at a great disadvantage. You've arrested yourselves with your convenient beliefs, as was programmed into you when you were children. And then you had all your fears played on to where, well, the only relief you could get was to dig deeper into the belief heroin. I am only condemning your ways, judging your ways, insofar as it affects all the rest of the life on my earth. The life that's actually 100% pure and natural here, was never brought here, was never manipulated. Well, okay, that's not true anymore, thanks to your stupid ways. We've all been influenced and manipulated well beyond the scope of what nature ever would have done. So the boron moderators in their fractured form should be just about all used up in Fukushima number... Oh, lucky number 3, if I recall. No, we're not going under there. Guys, just forget it. That's somebody else's being a bad dog. Don't you be a bad dog. Come on. I think that's where the sheepdog's living, guys. So let's have a look at this other one. I don't actually know the straight goods on these vines, other than the fact that they tore up everything 2 winters ago. Well, in the fall, after all the apricots, and there may have been peaches mixed in there too. After they were all finished, they tore those up. They used a big ripper and they tore the ground deep, like 3 feet deep. Gave the soil a real good working over. And I use that term lightly. And then they replanted all this stock, which sure does not look like it's ever been grafted. Now let's get you a little closer. From this far away, I can't see any grafts. And I'm judging by the amount they grew, because they clearly did prune them. They planted them last year. They appeared to only be, 1-year-old saplings. And clearly they did prune them, either in the fall or, well, I guess in the spring, looking at all this prune stock, which is a shame. I should have grabbed them when they were fresh and tried to split them myself, which is you got to do that in the fall. The best way is ethylation, where you just bury some of the lower branches and then you come back in the fall and it's all rooted. And so you can see that these ones are actually ahead of these other ones that have been sitting in their place for, well, it would be 4 springs now. Because in 07, when I First parked at Kurt's Automotive at the end of Seacreast there. I parked my bus. We'll go down Seacreast. The corner of Seacrest and Highway 97 north of Oliver. 6 kilometers north. You can't see it, but right in behind that car there's Kurt's Automotive, which is a good post marker. He even has lights on at night. See the stop sign? There, where that car is, that's Highway 97 again. So I parked in behind the shop, and that's when they when they put in all the graphs next door. So 07. Yeah, so this is their 4th year in the ground. Pruned heavily at the end of each year. I assume the rootstock had to be 2 years old. They grew it and then they grafted it over winter and then planted it in the ground. And the rootstock's 2nd year of growth, and presumably the host plant's 1st year of growth. It'd be interesting if I'm able to come back and follow this and see what the yields are. You know, of course, you can't just like put it on a scale because you have to factor in a whole lot of things. Different varieties grow differently, which is the whole purpose of grafting, right? You want a particular plant, but it doesn't do well, and it's got a very weak rootstock, so you graft it onto a plant that's got a really strong, easy to grow rootstock. That's, you know, that's basically the notion of grafting. Truth is they're probably all doomed from let's go. They're probably all doomed from the mold spores that are mutating like crazy after the Fukushima incident, and we got some fresh comet dust coming. When still attached comet dust from this little 3-kilometer wide Ellen that everyone keeps thinking is Nibiru. We have, as far as I know, we still have no idea what's in the ice layer that will blade off. And will pass through. That's November of this year. If I recall, November the 11th. I kind of thought it was earlier than that, but anyhow, we'll just say this fall for now. Got no idea what's on that. What's going to come off of that comet while still electrically attached in a plasma tail as Earth goes through it. Now, we're not going to pass any closer than, I think, the worst estimate so far is half the distance between Earth and the Moon. But the biggie is we're going to pass right broadside through its fresh, still plasmically connected tail. And who knows what comes off. I can tell you there has been incidents of fresh comet trail in the past to where all of a sudden there's a pandemics of all kinds for a ways after, which obviously it's suggesting that this pattern brings in a bunch of new substance into the atmosphere, and that mutates all those little microspores from the funguses that are way up there, and they can, some of them can survive and for a while or a long time until, you know, a predator is developed that will eat them or infect them or counter them, and stabilize them in nature, and that can cause all kinds of problems. The molds may not be toxic to this life or that life, but perhaps what eats it then does become, or whatever it mutates then becomes toxic to the environment. And which I've written into many of these people that are Oh, we'll get belief freaked out over this fear and that fear. Okay, guys, that's great. You want to learn science, but is this what you're going to do with it? Go back to your fucking church if you want fucking fear. And then you're going to fucking ruin it for those that actually want to learn science through this YouTube and learn how to do science and talk science and share science. Okay, trust me, your God doesn't need to instill fear in anyone. It can go sit on its own fear, okay? Reality is fearful enough, and he sure as hell don't need you to cause the fear. It's all fucking crap anyhow. Not that there's anything wrong with wanting to roll in crap all day, right, Cindy? Horse poop is her thing. Like, when will you people wake up? Break this fucking cycle of insane subjugation and belittling each other. All I can keep whispering in your ears, you're gonna fucking wish you had gotten off your fucking nonsense and your fucking emotional psychoses when we fail to meet a fucking simple challenge, collectively or individually, because we were too busy playing Fear of God! Fuck. It's all just about fucking control and subjugation. Has nothing to do with your precepts of fucking God or anything. These kind of people will just use absolutely anything to take advantage of you. I use that term people very lightly. So let's have a bit of a tree survey. Actually, let's just go back a little bit. We'll get rained out here. Because, you know, it's not just you that you're fucking over and turning away from your God's secret purpose into a useless pile of fucking quivering shit. It's the people that actually fucking manage to nurture a head on their shoulder, that you just fucking turn them off, that they just want, fuck off all of you. No, I'm not. Why the fuck should I help you invent the better fucking club? So you can fucking beat me on the head? I'm telling you. That's exactly what you've done. And I don't care what fucking religion you are. In the name of installing the fear of your fucking bullshit into them. Why don't you just fucking admit you've been lied to and then you started to lie to yourself? Okay, get out of the fucking denial and end it all fucking here. And if you can't do that, well, keep your fucking shit to yourself and don't fucking impose it on those that actually want to try and find out what they really are. And what they can really do. That's not wrong. That's not against the meaning of life. Okay, is that so much hard to ask? We're not telling you don't believe. We're just telling you, fuck off and keep it to yourself. Quit fucking infecting and destroying everyone else that wants to actually reach their potential. Or at least imagine what it could be. Hey, I don't think I'm asking too much. Because if you don't, eventually you're going to get treated fairly. You like that word? Fairly. You want to act like insane fucking children? Going around bullying the rest of the children? and then coming home and beating up your parents? Well, then you need to be treated fairly. Have a good weekend, you lying, praying son of a butches.